Red dots revisited. I put out a bunch of content on the channel a little while ago talking about red dots, how to use them effectively, this and that, and kind of left it alone. I haven't talked a whole lot about shooting technique lately, but it's time. Let's take a couple questions on red dots because I think they're pretty good questions. Okay, in another video, you talked about target focus when shooting a dot. Yes, I also like it with irons, by the way. You mentioned it's difficult to maintain all the time. Yes, it is. People telling you differently are deluded or dishonest. I've recently switched over to a dot since I've been pretty much ignoring my irons when shooting fast. Okay, changing sighting systems, I don't believe is going to solve the ignoring the sights problem. It might help mitigate it, but it's like you still have to reference the sights when you're shooting. All right, I shoot with both eyes open and my dominant eye looks at the target through the window. If my targets don't seem to go out of focus, would that be a good sign that I'm starting on the right path? Yes, it's a good sign if the target remains clear and in focus and you can make out like holes on it or a fly that's, on the target or something like that. That's a good sign. It's not definitive, but it's a very good sign. I haven't tried occlusion yet as my vision in the non-dominant eye is shit. It's like, you should try occlusion. In the time it took you to write this comment, you could have taped over your sight and you could try occlusion. Try the occlusion. Quit. I mean, that's not a great comment. When guys are like, guys will sit and talk about occlusion endlessly and not try it. It's just like, it's so low friction to just try the occlusion and see if you can get something out of it. Okay. Oh, here's you've been mentioning work in the last few videos. What's your day job? I don't really have a day job, but I do work. It's complicated. All right. Next one. Can I ask anyone a question about dots? So is Ben basically saying if I have a bullseye target I'm shooting at and I want to hit the bullseye, to look at the bullseye and bring the dot to the bullseye, and as soon as the dot reaches the bullseye, pull the trigger? Yes, that's effectively what I'm saying, but I wouldn't articulate it that way. So it wouldn't be like, there's the bullseye. Here, let's make sure my gun's loaded and then put my finger on the trigger. Okay, so if they're just fucking with you, safety nerds. Okay, so if target's out there, look at the spot. And I wouldn't even articulate it as bring the dot there. It's like, I'm going to look at the spot and the sight's going to, like as I train and build it, and next the sight's going to go where I look. If I'm looking at the sight like this, I just would not articulate it as bring this thing over there. I would articulate it as look at the spot where you want the sight to go. With training and time, trust and believe, the sight is going to go there. You want to not just optically, like physically focus on a spot on the target, but mentally, like you're focused on that spot on the target. Like your brain's not like, oh, where's the red dot at? Well, there it is. Like we got to bring it over here. Your verbiage that you're using indicates that your focus is still on the red dot. And again, it sounds a little weird, sounds counterintuitive, but with training and time, you focus on the target, trust and believe the sight's going to go to where you're looking. And that's the truth, but it's hard for people to wrap their head around that one. Anyway, if you got more questions on red dots, put them down below.